What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. Man, I found this video on TikTok. I'm telling you, listen, I found this video on TikTok of this African American who I don't know where he was, but he was at a Yoruba ceremony. I don't know. I think he was becoming chief. I don't know if he's I don't know what it is, but he was dressed to the T in Yoruba royal clothing. I think he traced his lineage or something like that. Like, which you can do. Like, we have the technology to do that. You know, it's called doing your DNA, and it's plenty of ways to do that, right? And he said one of the most important things I think needs to be said to African Americans when it comes to coming to Africa is because there's a lot of African Americans who believe that when you come to Africa, you have to give up your African American culture. Listen, you don't have to give up your African American culture. African Americans have a powerful culture that was created and forged through blood, sweat, and tears, through 500 years of pressure. You understand? And when you come to Africa, even if you come and you move to Africa, you don't have to move to Africa and just get rid of your African American culture. As a matter of fact, you take it with you. When you come here, everybody's looking up to you. Whether you want to believe it or not, African Americans are the leaders of Africans. As far as everybody waits to see what we're gonna do. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying it in a factual way. It's just what it is. When I come here, listen, you see this? They looking at me. They know who I am. They look up to me. And because they look up to me, now, did I do anything? I don't think I did, but it's the perception, is reality. Perception is African Americans, we set the trend. Dude, we set the trend for everybody. White people. If you go to Europe, let me tell you, when I was in Europe, we set the trend. In Asia, we set the trend. They like to hide it, but we set the trend. Hip-hop sets the trend. Hip-hop is the language of rebellion. And even though we forgot that in America, hip-hop is still being used in its traditional form as the form of speech of rebellion in many countries, and it's being used as the power to liberate people from their oppressive governments. All right? We African Americans have a responsibility to use the power that was given to us. And keep in mind, as an African American, you must always remember that you are the representation, you are the manifestation of a unified Africa. Because we are the children of ununified Africans who were forced to unify because of the pressure of a common enemy who took us, warring tribes, who sold each other, right? Sold people who we didn't think and believe were part of us because we had a different ideology back then, brought us to a foreign land. We were forced to work together. We were forced to merge together as different African people to create this thing called African Americans, right? And we have a responsibility. Just like we say, white people got a responsibility to answer for their ancestors and to make things right. We have a responsibility as the combination of all Africans who were brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade and the influence that we have to come over here and use that for good. You understand? People look up to us when we come here. So when I hear people say, "Oh, Africans don't like us," you're a fucking idiot. You're fucking stupid. When I hear African Americans say Africans don't like us, I know that African American is a fucking idiot and he's fucking stupid. I know it. Guaranteed. You ain't got to tell me nothing else. Because when you come here, you will see how people's eyes light up when they see you. You will see people secretly trying to take pictures of you. You will see people want to come up and talk to you and just have a conversation. Any old random person. It is your responsibility as an ambassador, willing or not willing, to use it for good. That's why we don't need every African American to come to Africa. We only need those who are willing to put in the work. We only need those who's willing to build, to come over here and do the thing. We only need those who's going to come over here and is going to bring good and positive culture, the good and positive African culture over here to empower the people so they can be aware of their situation, be aware of their surroundings, be aware of their greatness. We don't need to come over here and make them great. They're already great over here in Africa. We need just to remind them how great they actually are. We need to teach them who invented everything. We need to teach them who created all these things that they admire and they want and they think that the West created. They don't understand the West didn't create shit. We created it. They made us create it. They put us under pressure and we created it because of that. The black mind, the African mind created this shit. The black mind, the African mind created the situation where we can communicate the way we can communicate. Internet, TV, cell phones, video games, all sorts of inventions. The traffic light, the refrigeration, probably the most important thing we ever created in the world. Get out of here. Come on. We created some of the most significant technologies that make this world modern, that put us in this position where we can reach for the stars and grab freaking asteroids out of the sky and go explore space. That was us. It's always been us. And we just need to tell these people that's who they are. It ain't just us. We are them, they are us. And as African Americans, that's our job over here. That's why we don't need everybody. Because if you ain't willing to do that, keep your ass in America. Same with the Caribbeans. If you ain't willing to do that, keep your ass in the Caribbean. We don't need that. Wait till the ones that's willing to do that, do the work. Make sure everything's nice and dandy for you, and then y'all come over here later on. But for the ones that need to do the work to make action happen, to actually do things, those are the type of African Americans we over here. So without further ado, I'm gonna put this clip. I mean, yo, this joint triggered me in a good way. I'm glad, and I ain't hating. Dude looking good. Dude, look, this African American look better than anything I ever put on. Let me tell you something. Dude was dripping. Everything he had on was better than anything any nigga in America ever put on. Any Italian fucking clothes, any fucking European fucking stolen African art symbol, anything. This dude was looking flyer than any African American could ever possibly look. Flyer than I ever looked. And I ain't hating at all because that's my brother, even though I don't even know him. I don't even know what his face looked like. But it don't matter because I felt everything he said. But anything, without further ado, this is my boy over here. Talk that truth to power. That's all I got to say. Is Afro think they can learn some, teach them. I'm out.
You will never speak Yoruba as good as someone coming from Nigeria. You never speak Spanish as good as someone coming from Cuba. But you will have that African American swag better than anybody in this world. And guess what? The African American swag is the best swag in the world. Why? Because everybody looks at the African American for what's next. When you travel to Nigeria, they're looking at us. When you travel to Cuba, when you travel to Europe, wherever you travel, we control the standard. So why do we be afraid to be who we are? One thing that I really loved when I went to Trinidad, that they were proud to be Trinidadian. When they sing their songs to the Orisha, they sung it the way they sung it. When they played the drums, they played it the way they played it. As African Americans, do it the way we do it. That's what our elders was big on. That's what our elders was big on. When I go to Nigeria, I go to learn. Because it's going to take a lot of years before we could do the work we really have to do there. The children in the diaspora are the new custodians of the culture. If you don't believe it, watch it. Watch these children. Look at them. Look how much passion they have. Look how they embrace this culture. And this is thanks to our elders. No one ever came back for us. Yes, the sad truth. No one ever came back for us. So guess what? I'm going back for my brothers and my sisters in all of the diaspora. And we're going to bring wealth first. Because you can speak philosophy all day. But if you're speaking to me and I'm hungry, I'm not going to hear a thing you're saying. Mama C knows this, and I learned this from living in Oakland. When they said the Black Panther teachings, you put money in their pocket and food in their belly, and then you can begin to speak your philosophy.